turns out I don't know everything, and maybe the timing was a little retarded. That's opposite of advanced, and so let's see what happens. Talk a little bit while I'm setting you up here. I made a horrible mistake in judgment. I had a guy that stopped to get some scrap, and we got to talking, and we were talking about nightmare electrical systems, and he was like, oh man, I got a little knack for electrical and yada yada. And so we started looking at a couple of the trucks, and I told him about, you know, the wiring on Betty, and that this truck was going to be something. Was getting a new engine, and the engine was out of the truck at the time, and told him that I'd be interested in having him go through the wiring and, you know, clean up any stuff that'd been roadside repaired and, you know, left for dead sort of stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, I'd like to do that for you. I'm pretty good at electrical, and, you know, and I was like, heck yeah. So he said, well, I said, well, what would something like that cost? And he's like, well, let me think about it, and I'll let you know. I was like, okay. So, I don't know, some time passed, you know. This truck sat without a motor for months, and he reached out and said, hey man, I'm ready to start on that truck. How about $1,000? And actually, this was going to be all the trucks, because you guys know I hate electrical. So he said, how about $1,000 per truck? And I'm like, okay. And he's like, we'll start on Betty first. And I was like, perfect. He's like, no, you have to be patient with me, because, you know, I can only work on it a couple days a week. And I said, that's fine. I'm not in a hurry, because, you know, I don't have a motor or anything. So he's like, okay, good, that's perfect. And so he come over a couple times, and he cut every loom on the truck loose and started separating wires. And you know, I was getting kind of excited. I was thinking, man, this guy's really going to town here. And you know, you could tell it was a lot of work, and probably more than he really wanted to do. But, you know, he was getting after it, and, you know, I could respect that. And so he ended up taking like everything out of the dash, like all of the dash panels. Sorry, I'm on the other side of the table here. I'll come up top where you can see me. So he takes all of the panels out of the dash so he could trace wires, you know. And he's probing wires, and he's using some tape, and he's marking stuff. And I was like, wow, you know, he's really getting after it. And then he just stopped coming back. Then I heard he was going through some, you know, potential divorce and whatnot. Sensor. This says sensor. Wonder what sensor. Well, that's a boost. That's the boost gauge. That on. And so I figured, you know, he just didn't want to do the job, and, you know, felt like he was in over his head. You know, I hear that he is going through divorce or whatever, but the worst part about it is you know, on top of the wiring being a mess, at least the wiring was laid in the truck where it needed to be. And I probably could have probed some wires here and there and came up with something that I could work with. But now that's not even remotely possible because I don't know where any of this shit went. And so I'm screwed. What is this? I don't even know what any of these wires are. These wires go out there. One of them, two of them, AC wiring. I don't know what that wire is. Oh, this wire is not for anything up here because this is some headlight wiring. And so here's the other thing, right? This is headlight wiring which goes under the truck. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty impossible to get it there. Maybe. I don't know. This doesn't go over the engine though, I can tell you that much right now. I don't know why it is above the engine. It doesn't go above the engine. It goes down along the frame rail and under the engine. But you know, it's okay. So needless to say, I'm pretty pissed off. And you know, he left me worse off than before he started. I do know that this is some sensor wiring that goes right here. There's a coolant sensor for the fan control, and this goes to that, and then this probably goes up to the fan solenoid. So those do stay on top of the motor. This, I have no idea what this is. This is just a random flat wire. Fucking ridiculous is what it is. Wires right here that I believe are common wires, and so we're gonna put a zip tie around these. Okay, now it also has a wire that goes back that way. Okay, so I assume that means that these wires, oof, let's see what these look like. This is some cobbled up shit here. I think what I'll do is I will pull those jointly. Okay. And then I will get my cutters and cut all that crap off. This is the one that comes down. This goes into that. These go over here. These come down here probably. This comes down here as well. This, I'm not really sure. And this is definitely headlight stuff, and it's gonna go down in the frame. This probably goes down in the frame too, but I don't know to what, so we're gonna wait. But once that gets done, that'll go down back here, and then run along the frame. This is the butchered up headlight wiring menagerie of mess right here. Got twist and shout connectors, pretty cool. But at least that should be traceable with the light switch. And then I don't know what these are because I don't have any glasses on. These have these all have female blade connectors on them, so that could be a sensor. This is a mess for real though. It really is a mess. So we're gonna find out what that goes to. This is just some random shit. I'm gonna eliminate random shit. So I'm gonna pull random shit back through the firewall. And then if it's something that's important, which this probably is something important. Put this one over here. I don't know what this goes to. It's not factory, so it's probably just gonna get eliminated. It's probably some stupid light or something for filling the gas tank. Who knows? But we're gonna put them together right here. And this is another one. This is something temperature gauge, maybe a mechanical temp gauge. I just, you know, pump whatever you guys want through that hole. It don't matter. Grommet, no grommet, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna pull those two red wires back. Don't worry about running electrical cords through the firewall with no grommet. It's fine. You know, that whole fallacy about a fire, that ain't nothing. Ridiculous, just saying. Did I mention that? But anyway, you know, I paid a guy to tear this all apart and leave me hanging. I don't know what either one of these wires are. So that's cool. You know, just unhook them from the switch and leave me to deal with it. That's fine. Sweet. And that was accessory. One is accessories and one is I don't even know. Ignition. Ignition. Okay, and then where are my, you know, yeah, that's not what I wanted to see. Okay. So that's the right one for down there, but what is this? This is not this happens when when power goes to it. But this is for sure that wire. Because that's what you need to do. You need to have this relay. "12-volt switch." Let me pull it off for a second. Okay. So what other wire is on there? Let's take these two both off. And see which one actually powers that. Okay. Okay, so I can tell you the long one is the one that goes on the accessories. So we're gonna put that one. And then accessories. Battery, start. Oh. Wait. So, how is that? How is that? Yeah, and this is ignition. So it's got to be on the IGN. I don't know what that is all.
What are you doing? Alright, tell me what you did as far as putting this pump on.
All right, so you had the thing timed at #1 top dead center, right? Pinned.
So we still had it pinned?
Yep.
Okay.
So I put the pump on, and then I rotated the pump till I could pin it. Then I put the timing advance on while it was pinned and while that was pinned. And then after I got the timing advance on and torqued and all buttoned back up, I unpinned both and put the cap back on. Then put all the injection lines on. It starts.
So you didn't take the backlash out of gearing. Good. Where can we set my laptop up at? Or plug it?
Well, there's a plug right here. I just gave it for you.
Listen to this. Okay. The pinning part you done was right.
Right.
Okay. As you know, you got a camshaft in the fuel injection pump.
Yep.
You got to time it with the pin.
Yep.
With the engine. The advanced part on the front is where you probably went a little south with it.
Okay.
Okay. With the timing, this is loosen the 4 bolts on the timing advance.
Okay.
Then it says with timing pin 2 installed and the timing bolt removed, turn the flywheel clockwise opposite the direction of engine rotation, a minimum of 45 degrees. So you got to rotate it opposite direction 45 degrees. Okay? The reason for this step is to remove play from the timing gears when the engine is put on top dead center. Okay? Then it says see, tighten two bolts for 180 degrees apart evenly, torque to 27 inch-pounds. This puts a slight clamping force on the gear for the next step. Turn the flywheel slowly in the direction of engine rotation until timing bolt can be installed into the flywheel. The number 1 position is now on top dead center. Tighten 4 bolts to a torque of 41 plus or minus 5 foot-pounds. Remove the timing bolt from the flywheel and timing pin from the fuel injection pump housing. So what you're having to do is take that backlash out on that advance. And that could be 10 degrees off, you know.
And so let me try and understand. So bring it up on number 1, right?
Yep.
Pin it. Take timing advance off. Bring the spec up.
Loosen. You ain't got to take it out. Just loosen the bolts.
Okay.
It's not clamped.
All right, and then turn this and pin it.
That's if you got this pinned.
Like right now, if we put that on 1, this will be pinned. This will be pinned.
Read right here. Leave your pump pin. Remove the timing pin from the motor. Loosen the 4 clamping bolts. Rotate the engine opposite of the normal direction of rotation, 45 degrees. Okay. Then two of your bolts tighten 27 inch pounds distance. Then come back to where your engine pins. When your engine pins, then you lock everything down. Then you take everything apart.
Okay.
Then you take all your timing pins
And
out.
45 degrees, you mean 45 degrees on the balancer?
Well, it's saying a minimum of 45 degrees.
Okay.
So.
Yep, that sucks. Okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but I guess I can do it. It's not that big a deal. And so we leave them both. We leave this pinned the whole time we're turning this backwards, and
That
the
way
reason
your
why
pump don't move.
right, and we're only putting a couple bolts in, and just enough to put some drag on the gear,
Right.
and then when you
Two to
pull
put
it
clamping force.
when you pull it back forward, it's doing something to the timing gears, take some backlash out of
Taking
all that
the
shit.
backlash out.
Okay. Yep, I never knew anything about that. That makes me very nervous that I pulled that engine out of crystal because it runs just like this one. And it really pissed me off if the reason why it run like shit is because I timed the pump the same way I timed this pump. And that's a lot of work that I did thinking that engine was no good. This one runs just like that one. I mean, it's horrible.
Well, that right there, I mean, I got your, I talked to you yesterday. I got your messages. We got in late. We had a bunch of shit we had to do.
Turns out I don't know everything, and maybe the timing is a little retarded. That's opposite of advanced, and so let's see what happens. I got a miss, but it runs better. I'll be dipped in shit. Man, if you heard this run yesterday, you'd have thought for sure it was busted. Hey, check every cylinder and see if they're still good. Probably is. Don't want to stick your hand in the meat grinder, that's for sure. I set my arm down on the turbo yesterday. Yeah. My thermostat housing leaks a little bit. That one is a little cooler. Yeah. I'm way tickled her. It even sounds like a cat. This one's dripping a little bit, this one's dripping. That one's not.
Take them off the wire brush. Yeah.
Look at that dirt. See it drip? That one might be good. Yeah. I got new lines coming. It could just be shit.
Those lines will get a crack right behind.
Right behind that thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. raining diesel fuel all down your paint.
Well, all right, bro. We going.
All right. I appreciate you. It's pretty cool that it runs a lot better than yesterday. Like, seriously, I was feeling pretty grim. I went inside and I was mad and I was like, well, I'm not even gonna bother. Man, I wonder where that leak is. Maybe this back one was leaking. I didn't notice.
I didn't notice it right there.
Well, first things first, I'm gonna get my new lines on, and I'm gonna try and air this truck up today and drive it back into the shop. If not, I'll just grab the forklift and shove it in there. I don't want to run it in there anymore. It really sucks. I'm gonna take I think I'm gonna take that one off and swap it out right quick.
All right,
brother.
we're going.
I appreciate you, man. Oh yeah. Good point. I think this thing's probably plenty full. The radiator's not very. Oh, it never got hot enough to open the thermostat probably. Well, guys, so that ends the saga of Betty for right now. There's some things I need to order. where the injector line goes into the head, no matter how tight I make those lines, some of them are leaking. So maybe that's something that I should have had replaced. I didn't know that was even a thing. I guess I knew that you could replace them. I just didn't know that you needed to replace them. So we got you got 2 of those that are dripping pretty steady. I've tried multiple injection lines. I do have new injection lines coming. I only got 2. I thought I had a whole set, but I only had 2. I'm going to order some more. So it has all new injection lines. I'm going to change a couple of the plunger tops on the pump too, because I think I over tightened one and busted it just now, and it had one that was broken already. So there's that. And you know, I need to get some new lines made for the power steering, and I need to get after the wiring. So the wiring will be what I start working on in my free time. But you know, I can jump on the thing, start it up, and drive it out of the shop. The clutch works really good. I just backed it into the shop off camera, unfortunately. I want to get the bumper brackets. I got to get some acetylene, get the bumper brackets bent back in shape, and get it welded and get that painted, paint the front suspension. I need to paint the timing cover and the injection pump and some scratches I did on the motor. And I got to get after this wiring, and the wiring is going to be a long process. But what I think is going to happen is I think I'll get the hood. First things first, I got to get the air system working, and that requires some fittings and stuff. I ordered some stuff from Fleet Pride, and of course it was wrong. But anyhow, it does run 1,000 times better. I'll tell you what happens on the timing advance, and this is something I learned today, and I didn't know. I knew how to time a pump. The problem is I didn't know that when you time the pump, you got a whole bunch of slack in the gears, and there was about 10 to 12 degrees of timing retard in the slop in the timing gears. And so now that I know all that, I'll know that for the future project. And man, that's cool. So yesterday it ran like dog ass because the timing was 10 to 12 degrees retarded. Today it runs good, has some power. It still has the cylinder, it's not cooperating. Could be leaking some fuel into the oil. We're gonna get a look at that. Could be leaking something in there. But anyhow, it's running. I can drive it in and out of the shop. We'll get the air system working. We'll get the brakes working. And we'll get the hood on this thing, and we'll get it outside so we can get Trisha and get it stripped down. We got some stuff to put away in there. We got motors to get out, motors to get in. So tomorrow we'll get some of that stuff done. And like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you.